There is a silence that lives inside certain friendships, a silence so deep and so dark that most people never even notice it. It sits beneath the laughter, it breathes beneath the loyalty, it hides behind every hug, every promise, every late-night conversation, and by the time you finally feel it, by the time that silence becomes impossible to ignore it, it is already too late because the damage has already been done. Think about the people closest to you right now, the ones who know your secrets, the ones who have seen. You cry the ones who call themselves your best friends. Now ask yourself a question that most people are too afraid to ask: how many of them are truly happy when you succeed? How many of them secretly breathe a sigh of relief when you fail? How many of them are walking beside you, not because they love you, but because they are waiting for you to fall, waiting for the moment your light goes dim so their light can finally shine. This is not a story about enemies. Enemies are easy to identify. This is a story about something far more dangerous. This is a story about fake friends, the ones who smile the widest, the ones who stay the longest, the ones who know exactly how to make you trust them and then use that trust slowly, silently against you. Stay with me until the very end of this journey, because what you are about to discover may permanently change the way you see the people around you. SCCION 1. Why fake friends exist. For we go deeper into the darkness, we must first understand something important. Fake friends are not born fake. They are made that way by pain, by comparison, by years of feeling invisible, by years of watching others move forward while they stayed behind. Psychology tells us that human beings are wired for comparison. From the moment we are old enough to understand the world around us, we begin measuring ourselves against others. We look at who is smarter, who is more attractive, who is more successful, who is more loved. Psychologists call this social comparison theory. And while a small amount of comparison is natural and even motivating, too much of it becomes a poison. It begins to rot the mind from the inside out. Now, imagine a person who has spent their entire life comparing themselves to others and always coming up short in their own mind. At least they look around and see people achieving things they have not achieved. They see people being celebrated while they sit in the shadows. They see your life improving while theirs feels frozen, and something shifts inside them, something dark and complicated, something they may not even fully understand themselves. They do not necessarily hate you. That is the strange and painful truth. In many cases, they genuinely care about you, but they also resent you, and that combination of care and resentment is one of the most dangerous emotional states a human being can experience, because it means they will never fully cheer for you. Your wins make them uncomfortable, your growth makes them anxious, your happiness somehow highlights their own unhappiness. So they do something instinctive, something almost unconscious. They begin to manage your success. They subtly discourage your ambitions. They plant seeds of doubt in your mind when you are about to take a leap. They celebrate your failures with a gentleness that disguises the satisfaction underneath, not because they are monsters, but because your success has become a mirror they cannot bear to look into. And this is why fake friends exist, not always out of pure evil, but out of insecurity, out of comparison, out of a silent war that lives inside them. A war they are fighting not with you, but because of you. CCTION 2. The architecture of false LOI. Now we must talk about something even more unsettling: how fake friends are built, how they construct themselves in your life, piece by piece, brick by brick, until you cannot imagine your life without them. Because here is the thing about fake friends that makes them so uniquely dangerous: they do not announce themselves. They do not arrive wearing a sign that says, "I am here to use you." They arrive with warmth. They arrive with laughter. They arrive exactly when you need someone, and that timing is not always an accident. Psychologists call this impression management, the conscious or unconscious art of presenting yourself in a way that makes others see you the way you want to be seen. Everyone practices impression management to some degree, but fake friends have elevated it to something almost artistic. They study you, they observe what you need, they learn your emotional language, and then they speak it back to you fluently, convincingly. You need someone who listens, they become the best listener you have ever known. If you need someone who is loyal, they speak about loyalty constantly. If you need adventure and fun, they become the most exciting person in the room. They shape themselves around the empty spaces in your life and fill them so perfectly that you begin to believe they were always meant to be there. This is not always a calculated strategy. Sometimes it is simply a pattern of behavior developed over years, a survival mechanism built by someone who learned early in life that the only way to gain closeness was to perform rather than to simply be. But whether it is calculated or unconscious, the effect is the same. You trust them completely. You open yourself to them. Give them access to your fears, your dreams, your wounds, your weaknesses, and once they have all of that, once they have the full map of who you are, the balance of power shifts without you even realizing it. They now know exactly what to say to encourage you and exactly what to say to quietly destroy you. They have been given the keys to your inner world, and not everyone given those keys deserves to hold them. CCIO and 3, the dark psychology of Psychology DNFREUD. There is a word, a German word, that describes one of the most disturbing emotional experiences a human being can have. The word is Schadenfreude. It means taking pleasure in another person's pain, taking satisfaction from another person's failure, feeling a quiet rush of warmth when someone else stumbles. Research in social psychology has shown that virtually everyone experiences Schadenfreude at some point. It's not the exclusive territory of cruel people. It is a deeply human emotional response, triggered most powerfully by people we perceive as competitors. And who are we most likely to perceive as competitors? The people closest to us, our peers, our colleagues, our friends. This is one of the most uncomfortable truths in all of human psychology. The people most likely to feel a secret satisfaction at your pain are also the people most likely to call themselves your friends. Now, in most people, this response is mild and fleeting. It flashes across the mind like lightning and then disappears. They feel it, and then they feel ashamed of feeling it, and that shame is healthy. It means their conscience is working. But in fake friends and people driven by deep insecurity and unresolved comparison, the Schadenfreude does not disappear. It lingers, it grows, and over time it begins to shape their behavior in ways they may not even consciously acknowledge. When you fail, they feel a warmth they cannot explain, a loosening in their chest, a sudden ease in their body. The threat has been temporarily removed, and this feeling, although confusing and uncomfortable for them, keeps them anchored near you because part of them needs to see you struggle. This is why you may have noticed that certain friends seem most alive during your difficult periods, most attentive, most emotionally available, not because they are loving you, but because your pain is nourishing something inside them. And then when you recover, when you find your way back to yourself. When the light returns, they become distant again, distracted, subtly critical, as though your healing has somehow disappointed them. Pay close attention to this pattern. It is one of the clearest signals that something is deeply wrong. Section 4. The signs you are not supposed to see. Fake friends are masters of subtlety. Their cruelty rarely comes in obvious forms. It does not arrive as open insults or public humiliation. It arrives wrapped in kindness, delivered with a smile, spoken in a voice so gentle that by the time the damage registers, you have already absorbed it. The first sign is constant subtle competition. Every conversation somehow becomes about them. You share a story, and before you finish, they have a bigger story. You mention an achievement, and before you can feel proud, they have mentioned an equal or greater achievement. This is not accidental conversation. This is a reflex, a deeply ingrained need to ensure that the balance of value never tips too far in your direction. The second sign is selective disappearance. Fake friends have an extraordinary talent for being unavailable during your storms. When your life is burning, when you are facing a crisis that requires real presence and real courage to witness, they become strangely busy, strangely unreachable. But the moment the storm passes, the moment there is something to celebrate or to be seen at, they are suddenly available, suddenly enthusiastic, suddenly present, as though the difficulty never happened. The third sign is the gossip mirror. If a person gossips to you about others, they are gossiping about you to others. This is not a theory. This is a law of character. Fake friends are almost always enthusiastic gossips, not because they are simply talkative, but because gossip serves a critical psychological function for them. It establishes a hierarchy. When they tear someone else down in your presence, they are subtly positioning themselves above that person. But you are never truly the ally. You are also the subject. The moment you leave the room, you become the story being told. The fourth sign is achievement minimization. You get a promotion and they change the subject. You share news that lights you up from the inside and they respond with a flatness that extinguishes that light before it can fully ignite. This behavior is almost always disguised as realism. They tell themselves and sometimes you that they are simply keeping you grounded, but the truth has nothing to do with your well-being. It has everything to do with their discomfort. The fifth sign is the backhanded compliment. You look so good for your age. You are so much more successful than I expected. I am honestly surprised how well you handled that. Each of these statements contains a compliment wrapped around an insult. They acknowledge your achievement while simultaneously suggesting it is slightly surprising, slightly below the level of true excellence, and you walk away feeling vaguely smaller, vaguely unseen, but unable to explain exactly why, because technically they said something nice. SCCTIO and 5. The manipulation of trust. We must now enter the darkest room in this conversation, the room where manipulation lives. The first manipulation is the strategic vulnerability. Fake friends sometimes share personal pain with you, not always because they trust you, but because vulnerability is currency. When someone reveals something painful about themselves, you feel honored, you feel chosen, you feel that you have been granted access to something real, and in response you naturally want to reciprocate. You open up in return, you share something of your own, something you perhaps would not have shared with someone you trusted less, and now they have it. They have your secret. They have your wound. They have your fear, and it cost them nothing but a story they have told before. The second manipulation is the false crisis. Fake Friends sometimes manufacture or amplify emotional crises at critical moments in your life, just as you are about to do something significant, just as you are about to take a leap, just as your attention is needed entirely for yourself. They suddenly need you urgently, and because you are a loyal person, because you genuinely care about them, you redirect your energy toward their crisis and away from your own growth. The result is always the same. You slow down, you step back, you give them what they need at the cost of what you needed for yourself. The third manipulation is the slow erosion of confidence. This one is perhaps the most insidious because it happens so gradually, so gently, that you do not notice it happening until you wake up one day and realize you no longer believe in yourself the way you once did. Fake friends erode your confidence through 1,000 tiny moments, a question here, a subtle doubt placed there. Are you sure you are ready for that? I just want to make sure you have thought this through. I do not want to see you get hurt. Each of these statements alone seems like the words of someone who loves you, but repeated over months and years. They construct a cage around your self-belief, a cage with no visible bars, but one that is just as real as iron. SECTION. 6. What happens to your BODU? Here is something most people never consider. Fake friendships do not just damage your emotions, they damage your body. Neuroscience has shown us that our nervous systems are deeply wired for social connection. When we are in the presence of someone we genuinely trust, our nervous system relaxes, our cortisol drops, our heart rate steadies, we breathe more deeply, we think more clearly, we feel whole. But when we are in the presence of someone who is fundamentally unsafe, someone whose kindness is conditional, someone whose loyalty is performance, our nervous system knows, even when our conscious mind does not. The body keeps a record that the mind cannot always access. You may not be able to name what feels wrong about a person, but your body has been tracking the inconsistencies, the moments when their words and their energy did not match, the moments when their eyes went flat when you shared good news. The body has recorded all of it, and over time, the proximity to a fake friend keeps your nervous system in a state of low-grade activation, as subtle but constant alertness, as though some quiet animal part of you is always slightly on guard, never fully able to rest in their presence. This chronic low-level stress has real consequences. It affects your sleep, it affects your immune system, it affects your clarity, it affects your creativity, and most painfully, affects your ability to trust your own instincts. Because when you are surrounded by people who seem trustworthy but are not, your instincts eventually become confused. You begin to doubt the signals your own body sends you, and that self-doubt is perhaps the most lasting damage a fake friend can cause. SCCION 7. The friend who stayed too long. There is a particular kind of fake friend who is more dangerous than all the others. Not the acquaintance who reveals their true colors quickly, but the person who has been in your life for years, the person you grew up with, the person who has been present at every major chapter of your story, the person whose history with you is so deep and so long that cutting them loose feels like cutting off a part of yourself. These are the most complex and painful cases because the friendship was not always fake. In many cases, it began as something genuinely beautiful too. People growing together, supporting each other, building something real. But people change, and sometimes the change is not symmetrical. Sometimes you grow in a direction that your friend cannot follow, and rather than celebrate who you are becoming, or honestly face what they themselves need to become, they begin a slow, unconscious campaign to bring you back to who you were, back to the version of you that they could manage, the version of you that did not make them feel left behind. They remind you of your old failures with a fondness that is not entirely innocent. They bring up old versions of you in new company, not to honor your journey, but to anchor you to a past self that served them better. They resist your new interests, your new friends, your new ambitions, not with open hostility, but with a subtle, consistent energy of doubt. Are you sure this is really you? I just feel like you have changed. I miss who you used to be. And because of the history, because of the years and the memories and the love that was real once, you take these words more seriously than you should. You slow down, you second guessy, you look backward when you should be looking forward, because you do not want to lose someone who has been part of your story for so long, even if the chapter you are sharing now has quietly become one of the most destructive in your life. Section 8. The psychology of letting go. Here is where we turn toward the light. Letting go of a fake friend is one of the most psychologically complex things a person can do. It is not as simple as letting go of an enemy. Enemies are easy to release, but a fake friend carries real memories, real moments of laughter that were not entirely false, real nights when they were there and it mattered, real history that cannot simply be erased. And so the grief of releasing a fake friend is a complicated grief, a grief mixed with anger, mixed with the particular shame of having been fooled, mixed with a strange loyalty to the good moments, even as you finally see the full picture of what the relationship was. You are allowed to mourn someone who was not entirely real. You are allowed to feel the loss, even as you recognize the necessity of that loss. But what most people discover on the other side of that grief is something extraordinary. Silence, a particular quality of silence in their life that they had not even realized was missing, because fake friendships are not simply neutral, they are actively draining. They consume energy that you never realized was being consumed. They require a constant low-level vigilance, a management of information, a careful navigation of what to share and what to protect. And when that person is gone, when the relationship is finally released, that energy comes flooding back, and the silence that was once filled with their drama, their subtle competitions, their carefully worded doubts, becomes a space, a beautiful open space, where something new and real can finally grow. Section 9. Rebuilding your inner cycle. After the release comes the rebuilding, and this is where you must pay very careful attention, because the pattern that led you into a fake friendship once can lead you there again if you do not understand what created that vulnerability in the first place. Most people who attract fake friends share certain qualities. They are generous, they are empathetic, they are loyal to a fault. They give the benefit of the doubt long past the point where the doubt should have been honored. They confuse intensity with depth. They confuse longevity with quality. These are not flaws, these are beautiful qualities, but they need to be paired with discernment. Discernment is not suspicion. Suspicion closes you off to everyone. Discernment simply means observing how people respond to your good news as carefully as you observe how they respond to your bad news. It means noticing whether the energy in a friendship is consistently mutual or consistently tilted in one direction. It means paying attention to how you feel after spending time with someone, not just during, but after, because the body always tells the truth eventually. Real friends leave you feeling fuller than before you saw them. They leave you feeling seen, understood, energized. Inspired fake friends leave you feeling subtly smaller, subtly drained, subtly confused about something you felt confident about before you arrived. Learn this distinction, guard it carefully, and use it as your compass when building the inner circle that you deserve. Final section. The choice that changes. EVER white. EGER is the final truth, the one I promised you at the beginning. You cannot always control who enters your life, but you have complete control over who you allow to stay, and that power, the power of choosing your circle with intention and with wisdom, is one of the most profound powers a human being possesses. The people you allow into your inner world will shape your beliefs about yourself. They will shape your ambitions, your sense of what is possible, your willingness to take risks, your capacity for joy. You are not simply choosing friends, you are choosing the architects of your inner life. Choose people whose ambition inspires rather than threatens you. Choose people whose honesty is delivered with love rather than disguised as concern. Choose people who are still growing, still questioning, still reaching towards something beyond what they already have. Choose people who make space for your full self, not just the version of you that is convenient for them, not just the version of you that does not ask them to grow alongside you. Choose people who can hold the truth of you, your brightness, your darkness, your confusion, your clarity, and meet all of it with something real, something that does not flinch, something that does not calculate, something that simply stays. Because in a world full of performance, full of impression management and conditional loyalty and carefully constructed masks, the greatest luxury a human being can have is a friend who is real, completely, genuinely, irreducibly real. Guard that gift when you find it, protect it, nourish it, and most importantly, become that kind of friend yourself, because the energy you bring to the relationships in your life will determine the energy that returns to you. Be the kind of friend you are searching for, and watch as the people who are no longer able to exist in that frequency quietly fall away, making space, making beautiful open space for the ones who are meant to walk this road with you, not beside you while waiting for you to fall, but with you, truly and completely with you.